I mean, biodynamics is a philosophy more than anything. I think it's a way of understanding nature and of participating in it. If you look at it from basic farming principles and what we do on a daily basis, it's still the best farming method that we found. It fits the philosophy here. But then, you go beyond that and start to look at the rewards that come from investigating the world that Rudolf Steiner, the founder of biodynamics, has offered. I mean, there's just a richness to it. There's an insights that are very useful, I think, to the farmer in understanding nature. Because here we are working with plants. We can't talk to them. We can't get direct feedback. We have to use our minds and our hearts and open ourselves up to this extremely complex natural world where what cover crop we've planted, what habitat is here for the beneficial insects, what are the balances, where are the energies coming from, where, like, the mysteries of nature, right? How do you wrap your head around that? And biodynamics offers us a little bit of insight into that, and I think there's parts of it, for me, on a personal level, there's parts of it that I take and parts of it that I leave, and I think that's a nice thing about biodynamics, is that it's not a religion. It's some tools for understanding your farm. In this transition towards biodynamics, we have fewer vines. We've had to take out vines to put in our water recycling system so that we can capture the water that we use when we clean barrels or in the winemaking process. That gets filtered, goes through a living wetland that cleans that water, and then we can put that back out on the vineyard. Bringing animals, bringing the sheep and the cows, the gardens, planting olive trees, planting fruit trees, trying to also provide food. I mean, we're to the point now where we could sit down to a meal and have a great bottle of wine and a robust meal of great natural fruits and vegetables and meat that all came right from this piece of property. The biodynamic farm organism is what we see as a great way to get these expressive wines that are unique to a piece of property. They are expressive of the varietal, that they bring a quality that is enhanced by the ecology, by the complexity of the farm organism. We see it all functioning as a whole, and that you don't get one without the other. You need, for us on this property, what ends up in the bottle is really an expression of this year. What's happened. What is this vintage? What are the grapes that went into it? Who are the people that worked those grapes? The sheep going under them, the ladybugs flying around and eating aphids off the vines. Just the whole, again, the complexity of nature that brings forth this product that we capture, put in that bottle, and sit down and savor it and appreciate it and get this little snapshot of what was that moment in time on this place and the people that contributed to it. That's an intangible that I think is, for me, what makes for great wine. I mean, there's other chemicals that we wouldn't be purchasing. For example, for us, we've had some success controlling mildew with compost tea. Not that that's a strictly biodynamic practice, but it's a practice that we found we can do on a fairly inexpensive cost per acre compared to certainly some of the more expensive biological fungicides that are out there. So and I think that's something that we came to out of a biodynamic perspective, looking for wait, we have compost. We have the ability to brew compost tea. This is a solution that we can find within the fence lines of this farm. Certainly, we know that there's trade-offs in conventional farming. There's really clear correlations between cancer rates and health of populations around those intensive agricultural, conventional agricultural practices. Cover cropping, the way that we try and maintain fertility in the soil. One of the things that we'll do, we pick our grapes at night so that when they come in, they're cooler and we don't need to spend money on cooling them down. We've changed some of our a lot of our equipment out. Whenever we have a chance to replace equipment, we're using the most efficient equipment that we can. The way that we use our air compressors, we've adjusted. We've put timers on things, timers on lights. We're kind of redoing bathrooms so that they're more efficient with water, and also putting in air hand dryers that are very efficient. So there's a number of fronts that we're working on, kind of closing in on making some decisions on solar or what other alternative energies.
So moving on, how does Benziger cut down on the use of paper?
Well, we've gone to 100% recycled paper in our all of our offices and copiers. We have also reduced it in all of our labels and packaging, and we've learned a lot in that process as far as what papers and inks work well and can go through our printers and labeling machines and whatnot. And so within the offices, we have printers that print double-sided, and we now have a system in the offices where we can share files via PDF instead of printing stuff out and sending it out to everybody. We do a lot by email and phone in this company. I never got so many voicemails, but it's great because people aren't sending you stuff on paper all the time. So. We do have a pretty well utilized carpool program where we incentivize folks to carpool here. We have parking spots set aside for carpoolers, and then for every so many trips, folks are given gas cards and debit cards to different businesses around. You can get $100 to Safeway or something, and then after so many, you get we give out reusable water bottles, and we're really trying to encourage folks to use that program, and it's been a pretty good program for us over the last about 6 months or so that we've been working with it. Every month we get a few more people participating in the program.